All right, loves, now we're going to talk about systems of inequalities. Now, what are inequalities? You use inequalities all the time. Inequalities are things like greater than, less than. So here's a perfect example. Let's say you want to go buy something and you have 20 bucks. Do you have enough money to buy it? That's all it is. That's literally what inequalities are. So like if you have something that you want to buy that's $25 and you have $20, well then you have less than the amount of money you need. If you want to buy something for $10 and you have $20, then you have more than the amount of money you need. If you think about linear inequalities and systems of inequalities in terms of money, you will be amazing. Everything is about money. Now, there are going to be some vocabulary that you should know. I'm not going to read it to you. It's on the slide. But this is one of the things that you want to take a picture with your cell phone, and while you're on the bus to school or while you're waiting for your teacher to start class, if you're at COLA, you learn it because it's going to help you. It's common sense if you think about it, but it's going to help you. Now, there's a couple things to know about. Unlike linear systems of linear equations, those systems, wherever it crosses, that's the answer. With inequalities, there's like almost unlimited answers. And so we have to pay attention to two things. One of the things we have to pay attention to is the shading. So if it's shaded, shaded is yes. That's the correct answer. If it's unshaded, that's going to be no, not the right answer. Now, here's the part when it comes to the systems. Systems overlap. So it's like, okay, here's my dotted line. So this is good for that line. For this other line, this is good, and this is good. So this has to be the correct answer because it has two smiley faces. It's as simple as that. Now, they are going to try to trick you sometimes. They might put a point right here, and that would be no. Why would it be no? If it is a solid line, it's a yes. If it's a dotted line, in this case, the pink line is dotted, it is a no. So we need to have two yeses or two smiley faces. We're good to go. If we have one yes and one no, forget it. The answer is no. One no cancels all those yeses. It has to be yeses. So let's take a look down here. All right, let's read this slowly. The girls' swim team is hosting a fundraiser. Good information, but doesn't help us with the problem. They would like to raise at least $500. So what does at least $500 mean? Well, can they raise $200? Would that make them happy? No. Can they raise $500 exactly? Would that make them happy? Yeah, $500. If they want at least $500, they get $500. It's okay. Can they do $700? Yeah, for sure. That's more than 500. That's 200 more, for sure. So we know that whatever our equation is with the $500, the $500 is the least that they want to make, but it's okay if they exactly make 500. That's how it works. I have my students pick the number, a number below, a number above, and that helps to say, can I go over or under? So it says like, okay, well, they're selling flowers, candles and flowers. So to make life easy, we're going to call candles X and we're going to call flowers Y. Now notice how this is $500. That's a hint that this 5 and this 6 needs to be there because that also deals with money. I'm only writing the dollar symbols to not confuse you. In real life, you wouldn't write the dollar sign symbols. So if X is candles, it'll be 5X. And they're also selling, so and is plus sign, flower arrangements for $6, 6Y. That's our first inequality. Then it says the girls estimate that at most they will sell 200. So at most, if they sell 200 at most, Well, what's 100 is less, 300 is more. So we have to think, okay, at most 200. So if they sell 100, is that at most 200? Yeah, that's less than 200. That's okay. They have enough. If they sell exactly 200, do they have enough? Yeah, because at most they want to sell 200. They don't think they're going to sell 201. They want to plan on just selling 200. So that's okay. Can they do 300? No, they can't. That's too much. They don't have enough stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well, they're selling candles and they're selling flowers, but altogether it has to be $200 or less because our smiley faces are going less. So that's why we do that symbol. So those are the systems of inequalities that we need. So now we're going to use our graphing calculator. We're going to go over here and just don't write the dollar signs, but we're going to type in our problem. Now it's like, well, Doc, how do I get the greater than or equal than sign? Right here in the calculator. 500. And then we're going to zoom so that we can see everything. Okay. Now we're going to type our other one. X plus Y has to be less than or equal to 200. Here's our other line. So that overlap is the correct answer, kind of, because they can't sell negative problems. They can't sell negative flowers. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, I just sold negative 17 candles. So really speaking, we're talking about it being in this dark range. That's really the answer, okay? So now it says, well, 120 candles are sold. So remember, candles is 120 is X. So I'm just going to put X equals 120 just to make our life easy. And it says, use your graph to determine a reasonable number of flowers that must be sold for them to earn 500. It gives you the answer. Look at, here's my 120. They want to get the 500. So what's a reasonable amount? Well, the 80 would be a reasonable amount for them to sell. That would be reasonable. 120 flowers, 80 would work. Technically, to get the most money, we want to have the highest. So 80 would be the best choice.